Oh, hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of the Game Shelf. I am your host, Lewis. My objective is to bring you all sorts of entertainment while talking about video games. So, let's get started. I wanted to start things off simple, so today we're gonna be looking at the game that most of you know and love. Boom! Super Mario World for the Super NES. Without any further delay, let's put this baby on the Super Nintendo.
It's 1990, Nintendo releases a new console, so we got a brand new game in a brand new land. As Mario, Luigi and Princess Peach are taking a vacations in the new dinosaur land when, gasp, Princess Peach has been kidnapped.
Hey, I know it's the most basic of stories, but we never play a mainline Mario game for the story, so let's start by checking what truly makes Super Mario World so beloved by many, the gameplay.
Super Mario World is your standard platformer with a simple objective. Get to the goal of the level while avoiding obstacles such as your classic enemies. We got the returning Koopas and some newcomers to the series such as Dino Rhinos, Charging Chuck E. Cheese, and Monty Moles. Gameplay wise, it's still kind of the same as previous Mario entries, you run and you jump. The only newest addition to the main moveset is Mario's Spin Jump, which allows you to destroy breakable blocks beneath you, one-shot bigger enemies, or jump over certain obstacles that would normally hurt Mario. I don't know how that's possible, but I won't question it. And when it comes to movement, this game got it spot on. Mario moves so smooth, your jump length depends on your momentum, you can change directions mid-air, and overall it's just very responsive. You have total freedom of your movements. If you die in this game, sorry mate, it's your fault, and your fault only. This is particularly complemented by the great level design in this game. Nothing ever feels too unfair. Levels start to get progressively more challenging, but the learning curve is usually really fair to the players. A great aspect of these levels is that some of them are marked with these red spots. There. What makes them so great? These guys right here have more than one exit. So, in order to find them, you might have to go out of your usual way. So basically, this game is encouraging you to try different routes and reward your curiosity for it. You'll end up finding secret levels, maybe skip huge chunks of the game thanks to the Star World. Eventually, you'll end up in these places called switch palaces. Activating these switches, cause these dotted squares to become blocks, based on the respective color you activated. Essentially, they can make your experience a little bit easier. What? Can't get to the secret exit? Hit those switches. Getting sweaty palms during these platforming sections? Yeah, no problem. Some of them can grant you some extra goodies, in case you're in need for some power-ups. The levels offer a great variety of settings, such as plains, some caves, and actually some pretty decent water levels, each offering different sets of obstacles for Mario to overcome. Sometimes you might find yourself in a special room, if you wanna score yourself some extra lives. Like this one right here, where you got 3 randomized blocks. Hit the 3 of them in the correct order and you'll get yourself an extra life. Just hold up guys, let me show you how it's done. Okay, we got 1 second and... New to the series we got Boo Houses, which might not be as straightforward as other levels, but they're nothing to scratch your head around. Just keep trying different routes and you'll get out of them in no time. And at the end of each world, we got a castle level. And these places will pull no punches against you. They are not ridiculously difficult, but they certainly want you to stay on your toes. So, bring out your platforming skills to reach that red door. Behind these red doors, there's a showdown against the Koopalings, straight out of Super Mario Bros. 3. But contrary to their castles, these battles are actually quite very easy. Yeah. But hey, at least defeating them grants you a cutscene of Mario destroying the castle. It never gets old. Compared to Super Mario Bros. 3, there's quite a lack of power-ups here. There's no Frog suit, Hammer Brothers suit, or even the Tanuki suit is absent here. The series staples are still here though. The Super Mushroom, the Fire Flower, and the Starman are all here for your disposal. You might think this is underwhelming compared to Super Mario Bros. 3, and you're right, but this was a necessary sacrifice for something bigger. I present to you the best Super Mario Bros. Power-up ever, the legendary Cape Feather. And whoo boy, this thing is the absolute best thing ever. The Tanuki Leaf ain't got nothing on the Cape Feather, as it borrows most of its skills, such as allowing you to fall slower for safer landings. You can spin to take out enemies, but this move is so spammable that you could say you're almost invincible. Quote unquote, almost. And while the Tanuki Leaf worked more as a super jump, the Cape Feather actually allows you to fly, making it possible to skip entire levels with this method. In other words, it's game breaking. Oh yeah, but it doesn't work so well on capes or auto-scroll levels, so don't count on that. But man, is it so fun to use.
You know, I find it funny how after all these years Nintendo still hasn't brought back the Cape Feather. That doesn't count.
But the new stuff doesn't stop there. Oh no. This game introduced us to a new companion, the fan favorite Yoshi. Not only can you ride it as a horse, but also has the ability to eat a good chunk of enemies in the game. If Yoshi by any chance can't eat an enemy, for example a Koopa, Yoshi can hold it in its mouth and spit it out as a projectile. Depending on the Koopa shell inside Yoshi's mouth, it can grant Yoshi different abilities. Red spits fireballs, yellow does a small earthquake, which I don't find very useful by the way, and blue grants Yoshi wings, which allows it to fly, helping you effectively to break the game. Again. If you get to the Star World, you'll eventually find yourself some of these baby Yoshis. They come in a variety of the aforementioned colors, red, yellow and blue. Feed them enough enemies or items and they will grow up, which not only gives you a different colored Yoshi, but also grants you different abilities depending on the respective color you're using. Say you're mounting the blue Yoshi, and you eat a yellow shell. Not only Yoshi retains its ability to fly because it's blue, it can also cause small earthquakes upon impact. And we can't forget Yoshi's most useful ability, Sacrifice. Thanks a lot Yoshi, you're the best, thank you very much, your sacrifice won't be forgotten. Graphically speaking, this game looks phenomenal. Solid bright colors, detailed backgrounds that go hand in hand with the locations, incredible scenery, and some fantastic sprite work. It is cartoonish, but it gives the game its own identity. Almost 30 years and this is still very appealing to the eye. Now let's move to the soundtrack. There's actually not a lot of variety here, it's mostly just different versions of the same songs. Regardless of that, it's not really an issue. The soundtrack never gets tiring, and whatever song is playing, it always complements very well the atmosphere of the level. It's simple? Yeah, it is, but I don't think that's a bad thing. It's very upbeat, energetic, and very pleasing to hear. Okay, it's time to raid the final castle. You can use either the main door or the back door, however you feel. And this is a pretty neat final level. There are 2 main halls, each containing 4 different doors, and each door holds a totally different challenge. This is a pretty great idea actually. You can make your way to the final battle a total cakewalk, or add a little bit spice to it. Alright, it's time to fight the big guy. The best course of action will be to use his own toys against him. Quite literally. Alright, we just kicked them, a few hits later and boom! Super Mario World has been defeated. We did it! Enjoy the credits roll, a demonstration of the enemies of the game, and your big thank you message. Oh, okay, all left now is to turn off the console. It's a Super Nintendo game after all. It's not gonna take you to the main screen after the ending.
Whew, that's over. Alright, so with all said and done, what do I think about Super Mario World? I'm pretty sure the review spoke for itself, but I wanted to look at it from my own personal viewpoint. Fans often debate which one is better, Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World, and while I think both of them are really fantastic games, I'll just take World any day.
World took all the stuff that worked from previous entries and polished them to deliver an experience that not only is memorable, but it's also fun. Just like any other game, it's not perfect. There are some flaws you can come across. Sometimes there's some questionable enemy placement. Some levels are more tedious or boring compared to others. And there are some questionable design choices. Okay, what was that? And naturally, the unavoidable glitches.
This also happens to be the very first game I ever played, and while my opinion might be a little bit biased on it, I constantly find myself replaying this game. I think it's the best 2D Mario game, and I think it's one of the best 2D platformers ever made.
Back then I was so blown away by the colors, the level design, the joyful music, smooth and responsive controls, finding new paths, discovering new things as a kid. Man, I can't express back then how blown away I was when I found every single secret exit in the game, which caused the entire world map to change. It's a small surprise, but it's one of those moments that stick with you as a kid. And yes, I truly believe any person who loves video games should try this game at least once. Overcoming the test of time is not an easy thing, but Super Mario World, after almost 30 years since its Japanese release, has proven why it's a king of platformers, and why so many people hold this game dearly.
If you have yet to play this game, give it a shot. It's been ported everywhere. It got added into later copies of Super Mario All-Stars, it was included on the Nintendo Virtual Console, it got a remake on the Game Boy Advance, and it was also ported to the Super NES Mini. If you got one, that is. It might not blow you away, but you definitely have fun, and I think that's the most important part. Whew. Well, that's all for today's episode, guys. I hope you had an enjoyable time. And I want to thank you for joining in on this very first episode. I want to thank my friends who pushed me to do this channel. And if you want to support this channel and see more in the future, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel or recommend it to someone who is into video games. And that's all for today. I hope you have an excellent day, today and tomorrow.